So when you down and you down bad, and
never
you just
down bad?
you've never been down bad to where you just need
I'll
a
let you finish
source.
I can believe that.
You need a source to grab onto. So when I'm down bad, I'm like God or the universe, right? I hold on to that as like power or strength. What do you hold on to when you just need something?
All right, so Kevette, you gonna be my co-host this.
I love that. That makes me feel beautiful inside.
So this podcast is a health and wellness podcast. It's the number 4 podcast in the world.
I love that.
I'm not.
Manifested, man.
Yes.
There we go, number 4. We're not number 1 yet.
How come we
Number
can't
2.
be like number 3 or number 2? I like.
Because my number 1 is Jay Shetty on purpose.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
You
I
never
don't
seen
be
Jay?
watching podcasts like that.
You never seen it?
If he was on TikTok,
I'll send you a clip.
he would like it.
I will watch it. if it was on
Ambassador.
TikTok.
You want to bring it down?
Why?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Talking to it.
Hello.
There you
What?
go.
Stretching that guy.
And number 2, know for sure.
Yeah.
You watch it too?
What are all these podcasts?
Yes.
I'm glad I'm
No,
not
watch
the
for
only
sure.
one.
podcasts?
No.
All I watch is Shits and Gigs.
That's a podcast?
Hilarious. Some UK dudes.
Oh, is that the black
Is it with
UK?
the black guy and the light skinned
Yeah.
one? Okay, yeah, I be seeing his stuff.
Hilarious. And,
No, for sure is beautiful because I could tell like they really focus on spiritual stuff
Yeah,
and
they do.
like wholeness, mental health, and being for real.
Megan actually knows what she be talking about. So that's not a, I ain't saying that.
You know I like
B.
B. Simone.
I love her too. She's like the comedian relief. But when
Yeah.
it comes to like
seen
scripture
their-
specifically,
Yeah.
Some of their clips.
I'm not
Yeah.
a religious person,
I will
but
watch
they make
them.
me want to do it.
They're super religious.
Well, Megan
Not-
is.
yeah, they're
Megan
working
is.
on it.
Okay.
So their podcast is basically they want to bring people into their journey, their spiritual journey. So
Okay.
they're not there yet, but they're working on it, and they like to talk to people about what they're going through and how other people are going through the same things, and they compare that stuff.
Spiritual in what way? Like religious, spiritual?
Religious,
Okay.
yeah.
But I think they also put in like a realness component for like the way that we talk about spirituality and like how just organic it is. It's not built by a scripture or the Bible.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
I think B. Simone brings in that aspect of like, I know God, but I also know energy.
I love that.
I also know energy. Yep, that's how she
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
I am also of the world. I know God, but I
Yeah.
am also of the world. And
Yeah.
I'm trying.
That's a personal like conflict I'm trying to deal with for a long time. Like I know there's a God, but I'm also very energetic based. Like in the way we talk about spirituality it resonates better with me. But yeah, I don't know.
Tony, you nervous?
A little bit. Because y'all can tell I want to say some shit, but I don't want to. Oh, sorry.
Why?
Yeah, no, on this one for sure.
The podcast ain't
It's like
started.
I want to say something.
What?
Y'all know
Say
them
it.
little religious people.
Oh
They
no.
gonna try to
yeah.
fight me in the comments.
No.
But I like she said, I know God and I have my relationship with God. But I don't have to go stand up in church and praise him to,
Yeah.
have that relationship with him.
Yeah.
And
I feel
like
that
a
way
lot
too.
of people, like a lot of religious people, be very
They Bible thumpers.
yeah.
But I
Well-
think some people really realize that there's a dichotomy between the two. Like there's I don't know, like there's
You
I'm
have
gonna
to
stop.
respect. You have to
Don't
respect
stop.
both sides. I feel like. I feel like a lot of people don't know how to like just understand somebody else's perspective on it,
That's
and just
fact.
be like,
I'll do you one better. I'll go ahead and take that dark flame for you. I don't really believe.
Oh, you a straight up
But
atheist.
the way I move is like I'm just gonna do whatever it is that's pure and genuine
And feels right
happy
to
and
you.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it just happens to line up with all the preachings and teachings anyway. But why does it matter if I believe in it or not? So I'm like, if I move the same way, people gonna think I do. I'm good with that because they just know I'm real and pure and genuine and everything I do anyway. So I ain't tripping.
I feel like you just have to be understanding and okay with people's beliefs
For sure.
and stop judging. Just stop judging.
Wait, so you don't believe in anything at all? You just
Nope.
feel like I need to be a good person and that's it.
It's not even about needing to be. I
Why
just
I
am.
choosing.
Yeah. I just want to do good by people. They're gonna do good by me.
So how do you define good though? Like if you if you don't have
I think the deeper rooted question for Medina is, how did you grow up?
I grew up in church.
Exactly. That's where you need to ask, because that's where he gets his foundation of what's good and what's bad, the ceiling of that.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want to.
You want to know how he got here?
Well, I might
No,
have to
not
figure
even
it-
how you got here. Like exactly what you just said. Like what are you defining as good? Like what did you do early on in life that caused you to be like, this is good and this is how I'm gonna live. This
Yeah.
despite
What's that?
believing in
What's
God
that
or-
journey look like?
I just paid attention to how people who are happy and everybody around them are happy. How are they interacting? What kind of things do they do? What are their beliefs and whatever? Like, how are they treating others? How do they love? How do they show pain? How do they show just all these things and kind of figure out a way to all that into a ball and be like, all right, if 90% of the people that are happy and everybody around them happy appreciates them, whatever, what are they doing that stands out? All right, this person is always being respectful. They always saying thank you and they always showing up for each other, stuff like that. So I take little bits and pieces from everything.
His religion
like-
is life.
You don't think
But
that's a
not
mask though?
that's not religion
what?
though at
You don't
all.
think that's a mask? If you're taking it from other people, do you really
No, I'm
feel
saying
it? Or
as a young person,
Okay.
it gradually, I gradually learned from that as I got older to
Okay.
kind of figure out exactly what that is. But as I'm younger, that's what I was doing to kind of figure out my way. Like, how do I know that I'm being a good person? Because everybody around me is giving me love back. I haven't made anybody cry. I haven't made anybody upset or mad or angry, any of that stuff.
but again, is that a mask or is that really how you feel? Like
Is that a what?
a
mask.
feeling that you feel like a mask.
Oh,
that
mask.
Yeah, like
No.
this is how I'm supposed to move in the world because
This person
this
showed me.
Yeah, this person
But
reacts
not really,
this way.
because if it makes him genuinely as a person feel good,
That's what I'm saying. Is it a feeling like when you do those certain things, do it make you feel good on the inside?
Yes,
Okay.
but what I'm saying too is like this is early on before you're really a rational person to make
Okay.
decisions on your own. Like when I'm doing all this stuff, I'm like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing, and none of us know what we're doing that early on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
See?
a mask for everybody in a sense until we really start growing up and being able to make real decisions and start deciphering what's real, what's not real, what's good, what's not good,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then it transitions from that mask to like your personality, who you develop
okay.
to be.
So I got a question in a comment for you.
no.
All right, so what you're describing is not religion, right? And it's not religion is faith based. So it's basically saying like, there's no way that I can prove that this is true. But after reading all of this, it feels good. So this is what I choose to believe, right? And then, but what you're deciding to follow is 100% off of experience. It's not.
So-
It's not. You didn't go. You didn't go. These rules or these policies of life was presented to me, and I believe that they're good. When you went like I went through all of these experiences in life, and I was like, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. That's what you're saying, right?
Both.
Okay.
So what I did was like, and I'm not saying a lot of that was influenced by church because I grew up in church. But what I'm saying is, in a nutshell, I don't even care to figure out what is real and what's not as far as like higher power and all that.
Okay.
Because everything that I'm doing has been reciprocated in a good way. And I've been good to people. People reciprocate that back and say, hey, they're giving me game and saying, hey, this is one of the best people I know. This is whatever. You've changed my life in this way. These conversations have helped me. You lead right. You love right. I've gotten this from everybody, so there's no point of doing any more digging. because
So
for me,
Ooh,
I
I'm
figured it
next.
out. You know what I mean?
I want to say something.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So when you down and you down bad,
Ain't
and
never
you
down
just
bad.
you've never been down bad to where you
Not-
just
not
need
I'll
a
let you finish that.
source.
I can believe that.
You need a source to grab onto. So when I'm down bad, I'm like God or the universe, right? I hold on to that as like power or strength. What do you hold on to when you just need something?
It's
And
gonna be-
I just want to know.
Yeah. So probably like 15 years ago was when I
Mhm.
really started making the transition to where I stopped being depressed, sad, all that stuff.
Mhm.
But it came at a point to where like I had to realize the stuff that I was going through that was traumatic and really damaging that people can like not come back from. I was sitting here being like, all right, I'm praying and doing all this stuff to kind of not go through these things or figure out how to climb out of it.
Mhm.
And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Right.
But in my mind, I was like, is it working or is it just me really learning from that experience, learning how to not be in that, learning how to, what caused this? How can I do better? Whatever. Then I was like, all right, so let me just focus on that. Let me focus on the root of it and not trying to reach out to something else to kind of just, in a sense, mask my pain.
So it's never a higher energy for you.
No, it's just me being like, all right,
It's a decision.
if I happen to get hit by a car,
Mm-hmm.
crazy enough, you know what I mean? My mind instantly goes to, well, did you walk in the road? Well, you know what I'm saying? What
Okay.
were you doing to kind of cause
Very practical.
Yeah,
So-
very logical, very
Very-
practical stuff.
okay.
But that was the thing for me. And then learning like a lot of this stuff is inevitable. There's nothing you could do. You could be the highest praiser. You can literally follow everything about God, Jesus, all that stuff. You're
There's
still
one.
gonna go through
And
stuff.
still go through
People
stuff.
still
Okay.
gonna
Right.
pass away. Like
Yeah.
all that stuff is still gonna happen. So what's the other thing you could do? I mean, for some people in conjunction with
Right.
believing, but for me it was just like, let me just focus on that part. And once I figured that out and learned how to do that, I'm not saying I'm exempt from any emotions, but it's quick. I can easily learn from that and be like, all right,
Process
I'm
it
cool.
and
You know what I'm saying?
move forward.
It is what it is. I take it on my
I'm gonna
chin.
chime in because
I love that for you.
I've been knowing William Medina for 3 years, and I'm like, what the
Same.
what the
You're not
what the
alone.
what the what?
Yeah,
Because
me
we
too.
can't say what I
I've
want
been
to
knowing
say.
him for 4 years, and I'm still like, what the?
Yeah, like it's
But y'all also know I'm telling the truth in a sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's some you've cracked the code in a major way, and it's weird because I listen to a lot of like spiritual advisors, like Abraham Hicks. She talks about the way that William Medina is, and
What she
he-
say?
she
What Miss
it's
Hicks say?
really it's. If y'all don't know who Abraham Hicks is,
I
change
thought
your
it was a
life.
dude when you said it, but go ahead.
No, she a she. Her real name is Edna Mode. Just kidding. But I went through like a good 6 months listening to this lady, and it's what William is. Like, she really preaches about or talks about, channels the spiritual cracking the code of like, it's you. It's a singular thing of making a decision every day to choose you and how you move around the people around you. And I said his religion of life
Uh-huh.
because one of the definitions of religion is an area of activity or thought, an area or activity of thought. His work takes needlework into religion or folk art. So it's really a area of activity of thought. And that's what he does like every day.
It's
In
a
any
form of religion.
situation is channeling who he is for real as a person. And I still don't get it. I have questions because like, how do I know some of the things that you don't think I know? And I know that William is not always happy every day, every second. Like that's
Yeah.
it's
It's not human.
human or realistic.
And I said I'm not exempt from emotions. But
Yeah.
it's quick.
Yeah.
Can I give an example of what I think it is, and then you can confirm if it's that or not?
I
You
probably
too.
won't know
Y'all
100%, but go ahead.
I'm gonna say it if,
Okay.
if it
So-
resonates.
And I say this a lot, and this is one of the things I learned from you that I've been working on. To be honest with you, I told myself that I'd never tell you that because you're you. But I'm. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you on the podcast. What I feel like I've learned from you is that there's a difference between emotions and peace, specifically happiness and peace, right? And I said this on the podcast previously. Emotions are fleeting, right? all of the ones that you get, whether good or bad, they're gonna stick with you for a moment and then they're gonna be gone. So happiness, for example, you can only pursue it for and obtain it for a short amount of time. But we all know how life works, and it's going to go away no matter what. But peace is defined as to be free of disturbance, any disturbance, whether good or bad. You know, so it's basically like you understand and know how emotions work, but you don't let them take over your life. You don't let them guide you in any way. So you know for a fact there's gonna come a time where you're happy. There's gonna come a time where you're sad. But when you're in those moments of sadness, you know for a fact it's temporary, and that brings you peace.
That's a fact, 100%.
So how do you get there is my main question. Like, how do you?
I don't know the steps, but exactly what he just said, like everything involved in life, and we know from our own experiences, from others listening, all the other stuff is gonna happen.
Right.
Shit is gonna happen. Shit is
So,
one. Shit is the one you can't. It's on the list. It's good.
I
That's
feel
green
like
light.
you have to wake up every day and just choose happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You know that stuff is gonna happen
Consciously.
right? But you gotta have you gotta have that faith. It's gonna pass.
Yeah, you gotta
Like,
welcome it.
For an
Like,
example, I got into a car accident, right?
Mhm.
I did not sit around and mope about it. I didn't, it's okay.
It's
Everything's
okay.
gonna work out.
Yeah.
And like once you get into that mindset, like everything is gonna turn out okay. Whether or not, like, to me, everything always go my way. And you gotta be
eventually.
delusional.
yeah.
In this
I was
world, you
about to
gotta
say
be
that.
delusional.
I was about to say
Like, you gotta wake up every day and be like, I'm a happy person, and I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna go out into the world and believe.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
you get to a point to where you don't even have to consciously.
You don't
do it
have
no
to think
more.
about it,
And
right?
that's why I'm at.
Yeah.
'Cause I
how
can just
long
wake
did
up
that
and be
take?
like,
How
Yeah,
long
for-
do
yeah.
you? How
Like,
long
yeah.
did that
through
take?
that
we
journey,
need to
you don't
know.
really know. You know what I'm saying? I could lie in hindsight and be like, oh, it only took me 2 years, but I don't really know because you're just going through the motions and you know what I'm saying? Stuff just happens.
Do you
So-
think? Oh my
Go
bad.
ahead.
Go ahead, Rose.
So there was a moment where you weren't like the person that you are now, the way you move, the way you think, in regards to peace. You weren't like that before. There was
No,
a
no,
time
no.
that your emotions like really.
The last time I remember it happening it's kind of funny when it's crazy. But I was graduating high school. Well, I graduated high school, and then it's the summertime. Everybody getting ready for college and stuff like that. I went to not the greatest. I ain't gonna bash them like that, but it was not the greatest high school. So I didn't know how this process worked. I'm thinking it's like high school and middle school. You
Wait,
just
can
go
you say
sign
that high school?
It's Josie High School in Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta.
The ghetto, y'all. I promise you, it's the ghetto out there.
No, it's
listen.
just country.
Oh my god.
So I didn't know how the
And
process
the
worked.
ghettos.
And my brother's smart. He went to a magnet school. He ended up going to Tuskegee, getting a double major, all that other stuff. But he was like, what school you going to? And I was like, I don't know. I'll probably go to Georgia State. So he was like, all right, cool. So you got in? I was like, what you talking about? He was
I gotta
like,
get in.
fool, you got to apply. I was like, apply with what? He's like, bro, how your SATs look? How your ACTs look? I was like, I ain't take no ACT because I ain't finna take no extra test.
They ain't make you do
And
it.
then, no, they didn't make you do it in my school.
God.
So he was like, what's your
Right.
SATs look like? I don't even remember what they look like, but I know they weren't great.
Yeah.
But he was like, fool, you ain't getting in there. You might want to go down
Absolutely
there to
not.
Payne College or one of them other
Absolutely not.
community colleges and figure it out. But I didn't know. And then I applied for Georgia State. I applied for Augusta University at the time and didn't get in there in one of them. And all my family like praising my brother. And that was the last moment I remember like breaking down because I'm like, they looking at me like I'm just some dumb, just fool, don't know what I'm doing, ain't gonna be nothing, whatever. And my brother just out here shining. And it's not like I was dumb. I was just like a product of my environment, plus like not even trying to be inquisitive about anything. And then that's the moment I was like in there crying in the room and like, I am really losing my shit.
Yeah. There you go.
Because
There
I'm
you go.
like, how could I be so naive to think that I could just get into whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just move
Yeah.
through life how I want to. And then that was the last time I broke down. I was like, I don't ever want to feel like this again.
You don't want to feel like
So
it
I
again.
started, as I applied to Payne College and got in, I started trying to work on that journey of like, all right, how can I not go through that again? Because it was pointless, so to speak, because I could have avoided it. So how can I avoid these things? Or how can I practice being prepared for these things?
I have a question for y'all. It's
I think
piggybacking
I'm
off of
going
this.
through that process right now. I
Is
think
it-
I'm in that stage of transitioning.
Do you feel like,
Experience.
yeah, right there.
Mhm.
So I just had a conversation with my beautiful friend over here about.
Hey, beautiful friend. How's it going?
But do y'all really, do things hit y'all and you transition into change off of experience of negative experience, just
Yeah.
like what William was saying? I have transitioned into the person that I know that I want to be based off super, I can't say this word, but
Where does it start?
Effed up.
shitty
Oh, you can say shitty. Shitty's on the list.
shitty experiences, because I think that's when you hit that rock bottom point and then you catapult into who you're supposed to be based off that experience. So can y'all think about a time, you don't have to tell me, but like William just told me that's when he realized that he had to have accountability. He never wanted to feel like that again. But I feel like my biggest moments of transition come from just that knowing that you never want to be there again.
Mine came from stuff that I can control.
Mm-hmm.
Like stuff like somebody passing or like something unforeseen happening.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
different.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
That didn't help any, but like stuff that I could have easily just been like, hey, just pay attention in school. Just pay attention to the peers around you. Pay attention to your family and brother and stuff
Or
like
just
that.
do it right the first
Yeah,
time.
Nah,
Just
You know?
do
not
it right
even
there.
that.
It's little things. It's not big things.
It's
So I
big
feel
things
like
for
I'm
me.
always going through a sense of change or a sense of like growth. Like, so every month I have like little things. I'm like, damn, Tony, like you could have been did that. You could have called them people and said it, you know? So,
you also spiritually like 87, but
I feel like I'm always going through like little change. So it don't take them big things
Nah.
to really put me in perspective like, damn, Tony, you need a change.
For me, because my ego runs everything that I do, I think that's also why I dwell in a lot of situations, because if I'm not spiritually mature to figure out or let my ego say, nah, that's not the move, I'm gonna be hurt. So people hurting me actually transitions me into a different part of who I want to be. And that's really crazy.
Is that healthy?
But it's common
It's,
too.
I don't think it's
Is it
It's
healthy?
not healthy, no, because it shows me too, like, that I'm not as mature as I want to be, because the ego should never run you. Your higher self should run you, and that the higher self is only based off love.
so with you knowing
Fair.
that though, why don't you
Because
take
the ego is
initiative to
still
change
Because adjustments
ma'am.
adjustments isn't black and white.
Right.
right,
It's-
but I'm saying she's known this for a long time. She's
No,
very
Have
spiritually
she gotten better?
I feel
Yes.
like she has, yes.
So there you go.
Thank you.
The
Thank you,
gradient,
Rose.
so the gradient between black and white, like that gray area, it's for some people it's literally like this small, right? But for other people, it's huge,
Massive,
It's
yeah.
huge. So some people just got to go through until they get to the other side. It takes a while for some people.
You also got to learn how to give yourself some grace too.
Yeah,
Like
I'm tired
it
of
ain't
hearing
gonna-
that.
But it ain't gonna be easy. You got to be okay with like falling. You got to be okay with like having your downfalls. Like we're not gonna be perfect, so I'm not even trying to get there. If I know my thing is gonna be like, hey, I just have issues with like my ego, I have to come to terms with that and figure out how to make sure I'm dealing with that the best way possible. It may not be to a point to where you can get rid of it, but at least learn how to deal with it the best way for you and the people around you.
Yeah.
But learn how to give yourself some grace with being like, all right, this is what it is with me. I just gotta learn how to cope with this, and I gotta learn how to get my friends and family and all that stuff to learn how to cope with this too.
That's harder
Yes.
said than done. Because if somebody knows you for being that person, then they gonna see you as that person. Once you try to change, they'll bring you back into what they know. So I
But those
think,
are broken people too.
yeah, and you kind of have to separate and have discernment to say, look, man, I'm gonna have to separate from you.
Yeah, and
But-
good people can still not perceive you in a good light too. Just because they're a good person don't mean that everything they do is good. Everything, their perspective is always great. So even the best people in my life, I'm not taking everything they say as like fact and like the best advice, but it's up to you to kind of figure out how that works. But yeah, I don't care if you Martin Luther King or my best friend Matt, low key, but like just because you know everything to me, there's gonna be a point to where it's like I don't quite agree with that.
Yeah, and
so
that
I'm gonna
don't
let
mean
you
it works
slide.
for
Yeah,
me.
because you
Yeah.
always evolving too. Every day we learning new stuff, and every day we learning new stuff about ourselves. So somebody that you rock with for some odd years that's with you doesn't mean they gon' understand where you're trying to elevate to too. That's a hard one to swallow too, especially if you
That
loyal.
is okay, I feel like.
Okay.
It's okay. I feel like it's okay. It's
I-
okay to realize it, and it's okay to move. You don't have to drop them people,
Yeah.
but it's okay for you to move different. Like,
Mm.
this is my friend for that reason.
As
That's
long
my
as-
friend for that reason.
I agree with her. As long as it's okay with them too. Like
Right.
my friend is moving differently, and that's okay for them. Like I'm happy for them, but I don't necessarily have to move that way also because I'm
Right.
comfortable and complacent, and I'm happy.
How many
I'm at.
relationships do y'all have where it's okay for the other person to be like, I see them?
I think I'm going
All
through
of
a
'em.
phase where I have a few relationships that I need to have those conversations with them because it's in that weird phase.
Mhm.
Like, we're going through different phases in our lives, and it's like, I still feel like you're my friend, but is awkward a little bit.
Do you
Honey,
feel
have
like?
to tell me something?
Do you feel like
Girl.
she was low key trying to tell you?
She like,
Listen,
look, we
nah.
can't. Yeah.
Do you feel like those relationships are healthy? Like
No.
when you
Mm.
No.
you don't?
At right now, no.
Can you explain why? Well,
Um,
before you explain why, I just want y'all to know that was a transition into the actual
Yeah, the actual
topic.
I was
topic.
about to get
and,
into
I, and I just wanted
I was trying to
a
get you
round of
there,
applause
too.
of how well I did
Yeah.
with the transition.
Go roll.
so when you just gonna gather up everything, then post them.
So that way I don't have to worry about shooting and editing and
Yeah.
posting. Yeah.
No, that's smart.
Season for everything.
It's
You're
smart.
trying to be like me so
Yeah,
bad.
I be needing help, so if y'all wanna,
Yeah.
if you,
Wait,
Medina, what are you doing?
I'm trying to make sure y'all can hear me as clear as this brother. I'm like, God damn,
Pull
sound
it.
like
You
this,
gotta,
man.
you have to do this, okay? Just
I think
pull
you
it
gotta
closer.
pull it closer.
Just, it's
Stand
it's a
tall like a
vagina.
man.
Just go ahead and get comfortable with
Get up
it.
in there like a man.